So what do you want me to start with?
Just tell me
that I went up to Grouse, like up Grouse Creek area, and over the period of a few weeks, and camping there a few nights, I started hearing sounds. We could step out here if you want. And so I made a point of going back, and about 2:30 in the morning, you would, like, everything would get really quiet, and then all of a sudden you would hear like this bird would make a really strange noise. I've never heard it before. It would sound off, and then right after that there was like I don't know, it wasn't a moan or a wail or like a howl or anything, but it was a definite sound of something, a different animal. And then like few minutes later, like behind me, the bird would go off again, and then that sound, and to where there was like at least, one to four at all times, like all around me, and it just would get closer and closer to where eventually you would stop hearing it at like the tree line, and then by morning, as soon as the daylight was coming around, it would stop. But from like 2:30 until like 4:30 in the morning, they would just make these noises, and the bird always accompanied it. And I went up at Grouse Creek, and then we went across to like over at what's that other road?
Conwood.
No.
Or I know which one you're talking about.
And it's a really, really, really crappy road. It's like, and then people camp up there too. It's like Mud Lake, Horseshoe Lake.
Yeah,
Horseshoe Lake Road, yeah. So basically around that area, but where where they did the training for like, when they bring the survivor people or however the training, the military or whatever, they bring the people up there, so they have like a little area that they, like hidden little houses, that they can hide in and stuff like that. I went up there and walked around because you could definitely, there was definitely people or something in that area, but it was after the people training had left, and when we camped that night, you could hear it, and it was the closest they'd ever came. And I always have my dogs with me, and my dogs usually they almost get like, instead of barking, they get really kind of quiet and kind of growl a little bit, but they kind of stay pretty quiet. And then the bird sounds kind of like a machine. It doesn't even sound like a real bird.
Yeah, I think I've heard that before too.
And I got it on. I recorded the sound one time because everybody was like, "Oh, it's got to be like elk or a wolf or a," and no, it wasn't. I mean, it's not. I've been out in the woods my entire life. I know what animals sound like.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yep. Cool.